I don't think people necessarily understand what happened last week with the Make America Great Again hat. What are you trying to do with the message you're sending?
Well, it was really just my subconscious. It was a feeling I had. Like people were taught how to think. We're taught how to feel. We don't know how to think for ourselves. We don't know how to feel for ourselves. People say feel free, but they don't really want us to feel free. And I felt a freedom in, first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do. I just love Trump. That's my boy. Like, it's like so many rappers. You'll look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like, Trump is one of rap's favorite people, right?
But we talk about this, that before he was elected president, people in hip hop, it was an in thing to put Donald Trump in your rhyme somewhere.
And by the way, I am in hip hop, but I'm not just in hip hop. I'm a black person in the black community, but I'm not just that. I feel like one thing is people try to minimize me to artists, hip hop, black community. Yeah, I'm always gonna represent that, but I also represent the world. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race. That we're the human race. Do you feel that I'm feeling? Do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
I actually don't think you're thinking anything. I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel like that is because, Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said. And while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real. Bro, you gotta be responsible, man.
Bro, I'm sorry I hurt you.
You gotta be responsible.
I'm sorry I hurt you,
bro. Your voice is too big. You got.
So, I listened to the Kanye West interview with TMZ, and I listened to it over and over again. And I have no problems and no issue with what Kanye West said. And the reason being is because in life, there is always a choice. That's the beauty of free will. You can choose to do the good thing. You can choose to do the bad thing. You can choose to drink water or not to drink water. As a slave, you can choose to remain in slavery or to be free. You see? 400 years of slavery. And Kanye West specifically said, with all of y'all, he's referring to the slaves because the slaves outnumbered the slave masters. The slaves outnumbered the overseers. So that means all of us, as slaves, could have combined our efforts and become free. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, times are different. These slave masters would beat us and they were very brutal and make examples out of the strongest slave and break him down. However, we have history of Harriet Tubman refusing to remain a slave. She ran away. She went up north. We have Frederick Douglass, who ran away from slavery. Again, we have black men and black women who choose not to remain in slavery. So Kanye West is trying to enlighten many of you, but you guys have a problem with what he said. Why? Because you have a slavery mentality. You yourself want to remain in slavery. You want to remain in bondage. So this is why you arguing with Kanye, and you did not hear the spirit and the message he spoke to you. You see? Now, if you want more evidence, the Haitian Revolution. We have the whole island of Haiti gaining their independence through blood, through violence, through beating down their slave masters. They fought for their independence. They refused to remain in slavery. They chose to live like free men and free women. You see, slavery is a choice. I get it. A group of men will beat you down and kidnap you from your home. However, you can choose to fight. You can choose to resist. You can choose to run away. You see, this is what he's trying to tell you. You don't have to live like a slave. You can live as a free man, a free woman. You see? But you guys are so caught up with Kanye West and the fact that he supports Trump. You could not hear his message. You could not penetrate what he was trying to say. All of you guys that fought and resisted and came at him, you're spiritually dead inside. And that is the honest truth. 400 years. And you chose to remain in bondage? Wow. That's scary. That means you've got acclimated and accustomed to abuse? That you choose to remain in your horrible conditions and not choose better for yourselves? That is a damn shame. Harriet Tubman risked her life over and over again to free almost over 300 slaves. And all the black people that followed Harriet Tubman, they chose a life of freedom. They refused to remain in slavery. Kanye West was being very responsible with his words. However, you could not pierce it. You could not understand it because you're living in a state where everything is against you. You're living in a low level state, and your vibration and your spirituality is not high enough to understand what he's trying to say. So this is why you came against Kanye, thinking you got upset when he said slavery is a choice, when in fact life is a choice. Everything we do is a choice. Everything we do, everything we say, right? Whether it's for our own good or whether it's for our own hurt, is a choice. You see? Slavery is a choice. You as a black man, you as a black woman, you as black children, you don't have to remain in slavery. You don't have to be accustomed to abuse and violence and psychological warfare. You don't have to choose black is ugly, but you can choose to be free. You can choose to say black is beautiful. You can choose to fight against white supremacy. You can choose to adopt a philosophy that is beneficial for your race and for your people. Slavery is a choice. You gotta fight for it. You gotta die for your freedom. You gotta shed bloodshed for your freedom.
Maybe we can still heal you.
Why? So you could just lock me up? Nah. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Everybody loves Killmonger, but couldn't even understand that his line of thinking is in line with Kanye. He said, bury me in the ocean because my ancestors knew death was better than bondage. That is a choice. But many of you guys won't even fathom going to that extreme for your freedom. You guys can't even think like that. Why? Because you guys are slaves. Bottom line, you guys are slaves. You don't have to remain in slavery. You don't. You don't have to live like a dog. You don't have to accept crumbs. You don't. And this is what Kanye was trying to say. I don't agree with everything that Kanye says or does. I don't. But in this particular interview with TMZ, I 100% agree with him. 100%. Why? Because we have history. We have our ancestors choosing to be free, choosing to escape the brutalities and the hardships of slavery, and they moved up north. They went to Canada. They went to New York, Philadelphia. They didn't want to remain there. They understood they were human, made in God's image. And they understood they were being mistreated horribly. And they wanted a life that reflected that. They wanted a life that reflected their humanity. They wanted to choose a life that was befitting of a human being and not a slave. You guys don't understand. Damn, it's so sad. This is exactly why black people are in the conditions that they're in. We wonder why we're always at the bottom. We wonder why we always getting crumbs from the earth. And everybody is taking from us. Everybody is taking our talents, our skills, and they benefit from it and we don't. Because we still live in that slavery mentality. You could be rich as a black person and you selling your own people out because you're a slave. That's the bottom line. You're a slave. You fighting against your brother. You killing your own kind. You're a slave. You're a slave. You impregnate a woman and then you leave her not taking care of your kids. You're a slave. You're worse than a slave, actually. Listen, you don't have to live and accept your current condition. You don't. You don't. You can choose a better life for yourself. You can choose the riches and the fatness of the earth. You can choose that. It starts up here. You gotta want it. You gotta want better for yourself. And then you seek better for yourself. And you actually seize better for yourself. You work hard to get the better of life. Don't accept your current condition. Don't choose to be in poverty. Don't choose to get abused. Fight back for your life. Fight back for your freedom.